Good morning, or Boker Tov in Hebrew. Today is December 28th, and it is the 83rd day of the war between Israel and Hamas. We usually bring you the evening 8 o'clock show, but right now we'll bring you the morning 7 o'clock news in Israel. This morning was officially announced 3 more soldiers fell in battle. Asaf Pinchas Tubul, 22 years old, from Kiryat Motzkin. Neria Zisk, 24 years old, from Mesoot Yitzchak. Dvir David Fima, 32 years old, from Kfar Yona. May their memory be blessed. In the north, for the first time, an unmanned aerial vehicle exploded in the south part of the Golan Heights. There was a direct hit in Kiryat Shmona, which is a city in the northern, in the Golan Heights. It hit a building, no casualties, but severe damage to a building. And regarding the explosion of the unmanned aerial vehicle in the southern part of the Golan Heights, this is a rare incident and has never happened before. The Islamic Resistance in Iraq is taking responsibility for this. It is Iranian-backed, but we're unsure it actually came from Iraq, but rather from maybe Syria. The Islamic Resistance is an overarching name of organizations full of different militias that are stationed also in Syria that have been working against American targets usually, but here they took responsibility also for sending this unmanned aerial vehicle to the southern part of the Golan Heights, which is in the northern part of Israel. And now to the reporter Lilach Shoval. She's mentioning again the names of those who have fallen in battle, but also there are several soldiers and officers that have been severely injured in these incidents. And she's reminding us about the heavy price, the heavy toll that Israel is taking for this war in Israel. As we're hearing it, maybe you're hearing it too, a jet fighter airplane that's flying over us, probably towards Gaza. And moving again to the northern part of Israel, there she's saying that the chance of having a political agreement with Hezbollah in the northern part, the northern border is a very low chance. They thought initially maybe to move Hezbollah up to the Litani River in Lebanon as a political move, but this is looking less and less likely, and it's escalating more into what's looking like a war. And this general in reserve duty, General Eitan Dangot, he's showing his deep appreciation to the IDF forces that are working in the northern border and in Gaza. He's saying that they're detached from political pressure, and they're just working really hard and devoted to this, to battling Hamas. And here, this former National Security Service official, his name is Adi Karmi, he's a senior in the Shabak, the National Security Service. He says that we're not even speaking about Judea and Samaria. We've spoken about the north, we've spoken about Gaza, but Judea and Samaria is getting hard hit by Gaza from the air, from the ground, cleaning out from terrorists that are threatening Israel with terrorist attacks. It's a lot of intensive work is happening in Judea and Samaria. But the major effort of the army is Gaza. He says in the northern part of Gaza, we're continuing to clean it out to make sure there are no surprises from any more terrorists that are left, but the war is actually happening in the southern part of Gaza. He said the head of the snake, which he means Taharan, is still influencing Hamas also regarding the release of the hostages and any agreement or negotiation plan for their release. The news anchor is moving now to the General Gadi Shamni. He's a former commander of the Gaza division in the IDF, and also he's the military secretary of the Prime Minister. The news anchor asked him, what about, this war is it going to just continue and we're going to achieve the goals like that, or should we have some sort of leverage that we need to create in order to defeat Hamas? Let's hear what Gadi Shamni has to say. In the northern part of the Gaza Strip, we're fighting differently than in the southern part of the Gaza Strip. In the southern part, we're really face-to-face with terrorists. Just as the nature of the fighting between the north and the south of Gaza is different. Gadi Shamni says that I think the IDF is doing anything it can to pressure Hamas. But the humanitarian aid pressure is something a little bit different. We need to think deeply about it. Do we want to pressure them humanitarily wide? So as we're pressuring them operationally, The question, do we pressure them humanitarianly, like taking away fuel, preventing fuel from going in, maybe medication, food? But this, he says, pressuring them in the humanitarian realm might be shooting ourselves in the foot. We'll be getting lots of pressure worldwide. It's things that need to get to them also if we want to rehabilitate Gaza in the near future. We'll need this humanitarian aid. And we do need to sustain the support of the US government. He says there's already a natural pressure there with over 1 million citizens in the southern part of Gaza crammed together in bad conditions. But it's important to say that the government, the heads of Hamas, they don't really care about the citizens or the society in Gaza. The newscaster is not really giving in, and he's asking what still can we do? What pressure can Israel put on Hamas, because the hostages are still there. Close to 130 hostages are still in Gaza, held by Hamas. How do we create the conditions to cause Hamas to want a deal? We have elderly people there that need medication. They're probably in a bad situation. We need them back into Israel. How do we create pressure on Hamas to want to come to an agreement? And General Gadi Shamni answers, he says, in the last days, we've increased the pressure on Gaza. We've fought before in the north and the south of the Strip, but right now we're also expanding the war into central Gaza Strip. And all of the operations that the IDF is doing, that has been doing in the last few weeks in Gaza, this will take time to see its fruit. It will take a few weeks to see its fruit. Because when we're speaking about deepening the operation, we're speaking about underground activity. We need to consider maybe hostages in buildings, maybe soldiers that are in the area, not maybe, for sure. How do we maneuver the attacks between our forces and our hostages? It's amazing that the IDF is able to expose this huge terrorist infrastructure that has been building up in Gaza. It's not a zbang and we're done. It takes time. We must back up the IDF and not let politics push us around as if there's no war. The general says that he believes that the operational pressure will bring to some sort of achievement in releasing the hostages. This is the main news this morning in Israel, and to tell you too, there were about over 30 rockets that were shot yesterday from Lebanon to Israel. The situation in the northern part of Israel is escalating. For more stories, go to All Israel News, follow us on social media, follow us on our YouTube channel, like this video if you liked it, and share these stories with your friends out there so they can feel the reality, what's going on in Israel out there where you are. Because these stories are not always shown in the media in your countries. This is Rotem Magen for All Israel News.